Hi everyone, this is Koinzell here. So today, after quite a long break, 3 days, 4 days, I have a video for you guys, which is the actual run using R5 catch for Baal, and also the other 5-star weapons that have been included in my weapon comparison math previously, such as Skyward, Homa, PJWS. So I'll do the runs for all of these weapons. At the end of the video, I'll do a math comparison as well, as usual. So first off, let's look at the catch. So right now, I finally gotten the R5 the catch today. This is the reason why I'm doing the video today. I also took the opportunity to finish my exploration. I gotta say, I really enjoyed exploring the last 2 islands, or rather the 2 new islands. And also thanks to my friends who allowed me to fish in their world in order to get the catch, R5 the catch. So let's see how R5 the catch fares. The supports that I have in these runs will remain constant, so as to remain, how should I put it, make it a fair comparison from the last video. Okay, now I do hear people talking about like this, the supports make a lot of difference, etc., which is true. After all, this is a 4-man game, and I can do a run with some handicaps on my supports and not using Kazuha, for example. I'll do that as the next video. So first video here, we will look at the runs with the different weapons. Okay. So first off, R5 the catch.
見切りました風の歌雲の行くみんなは俺が守れ浄土を開墾ここより弱滅
465885. This is the catch with C3, or rather, right now I'm at C5 already, my Baal, but it doesn't make a difference between C3 and C5 for the purpose of this particular showcase. Okay, now her C4 will take into effect, while her C5 will take into effect. It's not going to be the huge determining factor on her DPS here. Okay, if you saw my math, her elemental skill, which is what the C5 adds, it only contributes about 10% of her entire damage, while her burst stance is active. Yeah, that is not much. And it will be even less than that if you're not doing the full 7 seconds, which you will see here with the catch. I don't need to do the full 7 seconds with these supports as well as C3 plus Baal. I just call her C3 plus, because between C3 and C5 really there's no difference for this showcase. It will make a difference in other scenarios like Spiral Abyss. So the hits are not too bad. This is the 2 hits, so that's why it's lower. But if you saw earlier, it's 71k here, and the previous 2 hits was 60 plus k. And Jovishat died really fast too, given how hard our burst was. We were hitting. That's the attack with full buffs. Pretty sure it's full buffs. Not quite sure. Maybe it was missing Bennett. So these are the artifacts. I'm going to show the artifacts as promised. So first off, this is my flower. This is my feather. This is my sense, which I'm using an attack sense because we are using the catch. But when I'm using my engulfing, this ER sense is the one that I'm using. Okay, so attack sense versus ER sense. Let me just do a compare here so it's easier to see, yeah? So ER sense on engulfing, attack sense on all other weapons, as per my previous math videos. Now this is the goblet that I'm using. This is the crit damage helmet. Now if you notice, my rolls are good, my upgrades are good, but my base rolls are not good. Like for example, if you notice, right, I don't have much attack percentage. It's actually very low, my attack percentage. Okay, and this is R5 catch. Talent remains the same. The only difference is we got additional 3 levels from C5, but like I said, this doesn't make a difference for this showcase itself. Okay, and this is the overall stat. With the 12% crit rate, it will be 77.4% crit rate. Like I say, I take a 20% crit rate pancake food, so that it is our number of times of retry on the Jovishat to get a nice consistent result. Okay, that's the only reason why I'm taking the 20 CR food. When I do the video for the self-nerf or self-handicap supports with pure 4-star supports, no Kazuha, I will not take crit rate food as well. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, using the catch is not so bad because the catch has 12% crit rate on the burst. Okay, so these are the stats. ER is a bit higher than I want to, but anyway, I don't have the luxury of being able to get exact 200% with the artifacts that I have. Okay, now this is for C3 Blast or C5 Baal with R5 catch. Okay, now let's look at the next one, which will be Skyward Spine. Okay, this is a Skyward Spine run.
見切りました雲が借りなくとみんながそばにいてくれるわ散れ千なる雷光稲光すなわち永遠なり
Sorry, I'm a bit slow there.
千なる雷光稲光すな
Okay, 452818. So slightly lower. Not to worry, we'll do a final comparison figure later. But anyway, 452818, yeah?
すなわち永遠なり
His is like 62 to 69k. Still pretty awesome. Now, Skyward Spine is R5 here, but it honestly doesn't make a too big of a difference. The only difference between R1 and R5 is 8% more crit rate. And this effect here, increasing the damage that it does, but it doesn't work anyway for Baal. So R5 really doesn't make much of a difference here. I don't have an R1 Skyward Spine at level 19, I only have an R5 one, so that's why we're using this. But like I said, it doesn't make that much of a difference, especially since I'm also taking crit rate foot here. And if I didn't remember wrongly, I'm using the exact same artifacts as well with the catch. So Electro Goblet, same helmet, same attack sense, same feather, same flower. Okay. For the other weapons, we will change the artifacts. This is what our stats look like. 81.4% crit rate. A bit high, yes, I know, but for the sake of this comparison, right, my main focus is to ensure that our ER is close to 200. Okay, while the crit rate and the crit damage remains more or less, at least more or less same as previously, not with too much of a variance. Because either way, we will have to switch artifacts around for the different weapons, because different weapons give you different advantages in terms of the artifact stats, and also have different requirements on the artifact stats. So I can't possibly use one set of artifact for all 5 weapons. It just doesn't make sense. And my R1 and my best artifact set is really for my Engulfing. Okay. Let's see. The next weapon will be PJWS. Now let's look at the attack without any buffs. This is 1.8k, almost 1.9k. On the catch is about 1.6k. I may have missed showing that, but it's about 1.6k. Alright. Next up, PJWS or Primordial Jigsaw Spear. Four 3-4-6-4. Now the HP dropped a lot because Sarah crit earlier. So Sarah's crit was like 100k. So that's the reason why with a lower number the HP is lower. So I'm just telling you guys, this is what happened. So 4-3-4-8-6-4k with Primordial Jigsaw Spear is actually lower than Skyward Spine, because we don't have any stats on Primordial Jigsaw Spear, and you can't use your E to do off-field stacking. So all you have for the initial burst hit is 0 stacks. Right? These are the stats on my PJWS. Now the damage is lower because of the difference in the artifacts. I'll talk about that shortly. R1 PJWS. Let's look at the artifacts. Sense is the same. Sorry, I should show this first. So you see the damage is lower because of the crit damage is lower. But the reason why crit damage is lower is because I needed to get more ER on my rolls, because Primordial Jigsaw Spear doesn't have any ER. And like I said, my aim or my focus is getting 200% ER. So you see here the flower that we're using is already lesser crit damage by about 14%, because we needed ER. It does help with a bit of attack. If you saw, my base attack was like 2k, so it's about 100k attack more than when we were using Skyward Spine. However, we did have to sacrifice our crit damage in order to get ER stats. Yeah, so the difference was this, the 39.6% crit damage was our original, and you see here I also have to use a feather that has majority of rolls in ER. Only one roll into crit damage basically, and the rest of the rolls went into ER. And this started with 3 stats, not 4 stats. I was actually hoping that this would be an upgrade for my Baal, but yeah, now it ended up being a weapon artifact for our PJWS. No difference for the sense. I could use a sense with crit damage, but the problem is I don't have ER, right? I need ER stats. So that's the reason why crit damage on PJWS is lower. So bear this in mind, my artifacts for PJWS is not optimized. But if you saw my math video, even if it were optimized, the damage that you will do with PJWS initial burst hit is pretty much the same as the catch and Skyward Spine, more or less. So yeah, it's not gonna make that much of a difference. Okay. Yeah, unfair to PJWS, but what I want to share is based on my math, which factor in having similar artifact standards. It will deal the same damage as the catch. Right now you see it being slightly lower, but yeah. Alright, now let's move on to the next weapon, which will be Staff of Homa. Let's get ready. 486059. This is Homa with without the less than 50% HP effect. It's R2 Homa because unfortunately I don't have R1 Homa to test with. I only have a R2 and an R5, so yeah. His is not too bad. That was about 67k. Okay, let me wait for the buffs to end and show the base attack value. Yeah. So base attack is 2k, pretty much the same as PJWS without the 50% HP. This is the crit rate, crit damage, as well as the ER. Crit damage could have been higher, but I will sacrifice ER and crit rate, so that's why I wanted to keep the ER consistent. I mean, I can easily do 200% crit damage, but it will make the difference even bigger. So let's just keep it as 2S with a target of 200% ER. And yeah, actually, I should say this. Flower, we are using a different flower this time round from PJWS as well. We have a flower here where we have some crit rate and crit damage, which is natural, right? Because PJWS gives crit rate, Homa gives crit damage. Obviously, I'm gonna have to use different artifacts to make good use of the substat. So in the case of Homa, I need artifacts that give me more crit rate, which is why I can't use the original 39.6% crit damage flower. I can't use that 25.7% crit damage flower. We are using this instead, where there's ER, there's crit rate, and there's crit damage. And the ER is the same as the previous flower, this flower. Okay, now feather, again, I have to switch to 1 with ER and crit rate. The previous flower does not match what we need when we are using Homa. Okay, previous flower was this, where there's little to no crit rate. Because PJWS gives us the crit rate we need. In this case, we need crit rate because Homa gives us the crit damage we need. Yeah, I just wanted to go back and compare, yeah. So this is the difference. We needed crit rate and ER, crit rate and ER again. Same Electro Goblet, same helmet. My crit damage helmet isn't even the best if you look at the rolls. So ER is slightly lower, it's 197 versus 199, but it's fine, it's close enough to the 200 target. So these are how my R2 Homa stats look like without less than 50% HP effect. So if I include a less than 50% HP effect, how will it look like? And that's what I'm going to show you guys next. So less than 50% HP. Oh. 518. 518280. This is R2 Staff of Homa with less than 50% HP effect active. as you can see, because I nerfed my Bennett. I'll show you guys later. Basically, I just slapped +0 4-piece Noblesse artifacts on Bennett. Don't really need to show it. I basically slapped +0 Noblesse 4-piece artifacts without a single HP percentage, so that we don't end up healing too much. Okay. Normal hits are very nice as well. I saw 67k, 71k, or 72k. So this is how stuff of Homa looks like. And unfortunately, the less than 50% HP effect is gone, so I can't show you guys the attack because we healed up from Bennett's ult, or burst, or Q, however you want to call it. So this is how Homa's less than 50% HP effect has a difference compared to without. Now that we have done all the weapons, let's look at the math. Right, so these are all the figures, the initial burst hit as well as some of the burst stance attacks. Now if you notice, I do a range for burst stance attacks because I'm not going to compare them per se. We'll focus on the burst initial hit so as to make my life easier and doing all the Jovishet reruns. Right? Okay, you know what, let me turn on some music for this. Alright, so you have the highest damage, which is obviously her R5 of her signature weapon, Engulfing Lightning, giving us 626k. You have R1 Engulfing Lightning as the second. R2 Homa less than 50% HP, you saw, which is the last run you saw just now. 518280, very nice. R2 Homa. R5 to catch. R5 Skyward Spine and R1 PJWS, 0 stats. So you see here, let's talk about the notes. So bear in mind that I do not really have optimized artifacts for both Homa and PJWS. Because with Homa, right, you can easily hit more than 200% crit damage. For sure, I did not have optimized artifacts for Homa. I just slapped what I can based on what I have. But it definitely can be optimized further. And PJWS, especially for PJWS, I could have gotten a much higher crit damage. Unfortunately, the artifacts that I have right now don't allow me for that. But we could have at least gotten 180% crit damage with PJWS, at least. But we only had 164. Alright. So for PJWS, the difference in artifact optimization is at most catching up to be on par with the catch. Based on my previous math videos, you will know that what I'm talking about. Do check out that 5-star weapon comparison math video. I'll put the link in the top right corner as well in the description. And for the specific artifact stats and overall stats, please refer to what I have done in this video itself, each weapon's run or showcase itself. That is where you can see the specific stats. Okay. So with all these, right, how to make sense of these figures? Obviously, we need to have a percentage difference. Yeah. So this is how it looks like. Okay, it's very easy to read this. There are two ways to read this table, and I'll make it easy for you guys. Just look at it from a vertical view, which means when you look at R5 Engulfing Lightning here, if you see a positive percentage, it means that it's better than this weapon. So R5 Engulfing Lightning is better than R1 Engulfing Lightning by 17.7%. It's better than R2 Homa, less than 50% HP effect, by 20.9%. It's better than R2 Homa by 28.9%, and so on and so forth. Okay, I think you get the gist of it. R1 Engulfing Lightning, you see a negative figure here. Why? Because it's 17.7% worse off than the R5 Engulfing. Okay, and then it's better than the rest of these weapons, each of these weapons, by this specific percentage figure. Likewise for R2 Homa, for the rest of the weapons, this is how you view it. Negative numbers refer to indicate that this weapon, R2 Homa, is worse off than these three weapons. Okay, but better than these three. That's how you read this. And our R1 PJWS stats is the worst off in this case. But to be fair, it's also because of the artifacts. And also because I'm only comparing the burst initial hit. If you look at the overall, I would say PJWS is even better than Skyward Spine, because at least PJWS times attacks is better. So remember to take this into context. And also check out my math video. In my math video, I really make it very clear that PJWS is the third best option after Homa. Homa being the second best, and best is of course Engulfing Lightning. Alright, now if you look at this, right, let's go to the conclusions. I have to say that R5 catch is very good. And let me show you guys. In fact, I'm just going to do the conclusions all at once. So first off, right, the catch is really good for a 4-star weapon. I mean, it's better than Skyward Spine. It's better than PJWS in this particular comparison, but PJWS will be better than it if you factor in the full 7 seconds. Okay. Is it worth the fish grinding hell? Let me just move this a little. Yeah. Is it worth the fish grinding hell? Yes. Although it's quite the grinding hell, quite boring too. Fishing initially it's fun. After a while it gets really boring. But I'll say it has been worth the effort, given that the catch is a full F2P weapon and you're able to get R5 just from fishing. And it performs pretty well, right? 465k burst. Obviously this is with fully maxed out supports. If you don't have those fully maxed out supports, you won't be able to hit sharp figures. Don't worry about that, I'll do a video with handicap supports. So this is the conclusion. I'll say catch is worth the fishing grinding hell. Now, point number 2, there are already comments asking me and I already replied, but I just want to make it clear here. If you intend to give Baal Homa, you can forego Engulfing Lightning to go for Constellations up to C3 for damage. So this is a scenario where if you are thinking of whether to get her weapon or to get more Constellations when you don't even have C3 yet, then this is a very, very clear-cut decision maker. Okay. Now the difference between Engulfing Lightning and the catch here is smaller due to all the different buffs, attack buffs that we have. You see here is 14.2%. So it shows that R5 catch is only 14.2% worse off than R1 Engulfing Lightning. But bear in mind, it's because of all the attack buffs that we have. If you saw my previous math video when we did the weapon comparison, R1 Engulfing is 27.4% better than R5 catch. That is in a scenario where there is 0 buffs from team members. And I already mentioned this because I don't want people to bash me about PJWS. Without attack buffs from team, Baal full 7 seconds should be used. You don't do so much damage, so you on the first burst initial hit, so the full 7 seconds will be used. And in that scenario, PJWS will be better than Skyward Spine as well as the catch, especially if the artifacts are optimized too. Okay. Now, my previous weapon comparisons were based on 0 team buffs, so that's why the percentage difference figures are different. You have 27% for R1 Engulfing versus the catch, compared to the 14.2% here. But personally, I would recommend to take those figures in the math video for your reference. Why? Because you're not going to use full buff team all the time. There are different scenarios where you will not use the full buff team. Take for example, I wouldn't use maybe say Bennett. I might choose to use Zhongli if I want shield, for example. Or I choose not to have Kazuha. I want Bennett with heal and Zhongli with shield. And not to mention, different players have different characters. So this only applies if you have the fully maxed out supports like I do. These percentage figures here. I put this in here so that you guys can see and make sense based on the figures. But if you really want to use a comparison, right, for your reference on how to optimize or build your Baal, I would recommend to continue to refer to the previous math videos. Okay, this is really just to show you guys what my Baal can actually do in game with these weapons and my max out supports. I keep calling it max out supports. It's actually not fully max out, not for all of them anyway. But let's just say I have them at the proper level of optimization, along with wheeling of course. Alright, so anyway, this has been a quick, okay, I can't say quick, but basically I have compiled all the runs with all the different weapons and show you guys the actual damage in-game, and I've already mentioned what are the caveats to notice and the fact to refer to the math video for better, more accurate reference. Alright, so anyway, thanks everyone for watching. I hope the content has been helpful to you, and if you like the content, remember to like the video and click subscribe for more. Right, bye.